No better way to get pumped up. Hey guys, what's up? This is Fixie SLN, and this is the very first episode of So You Wanna Play Smite. Today we're gonna do two things. In the first half of this webisode, we're gonna go ahead and show the new players, or the players looking for some guidance, a few things that might help you along your awesome adventure in the Smite world. Smite's a MOBA like LOL, Dota 2, and other various games that I'll probably never play again because Smite is just that damn good. So what I did was I took a couple of clips. I'd made 4 or 5 videos earlier. I'm going to show you them on stream, and then I'm going to pause in between each video, and we're going to move forward. We're going to talk about the videos. We're going to answer questions. We're going to make sure that everybody has an awesome grasp and understanding of the basic concepts. And then in the second half, we're going to get a little bit more in depth. We're going to talk about the competitive side of Smite, the different gods, how they mesh together, lane compositions, early game strategies, late game strategies, god builds, everything that is awesome we will speak about regarding Smite. So, we have a couple of little subjects we're going to move on in the first half here. The first one is gods, damage, and damage mitigation. So watch this first video, and I'm going to shut up for a second. You can listen to recorded me. Alright guys, now that you've had a chance to talk to non-recorded me, we're going to move on to our second subject here, which is going to be, how about we go to the first subject instead of the second one here. Let's try this once more. Hey guys, this is Fixie SLN, and welcome to episode 1 of my mini-series, So You Wanna Play Smite. The first half of the series is dedicated to beginning to, kind of loose players of Smite who are maybe coming over from another game and, aren't quite sure about all the mechanics or what they should be working on. I basically want to help you players get to where you can be, viable, where you can be helpful. I'm not saying that you're not already. Well, actually, you're probably horrible, and that's why you're watching this. But that's fine. That's fine. Let's go with that. We're going to learn a few things. We're going to discuss a few things, and we're going to try and help everybody get better. Now, what we're going over today in the first half of this episode is gods, damage, and damage mitigation. Also, basic laning, communication, basic items, basic positioning, and at the end, in between the first half and the second half, we will do questions and answers, a little Q&A session with yours truly. Now, on to topic number 1. We're looking at gods, damage, and damage mitigation. So let's minimize this and move forward. This is the main screen of Smite, my favorite game in the whole wide world, and we're going to look at some gods here. To make things easy, we're going to break gods up into 2 separate categories. Let's pull this down, and we'll just go like this right here. Boom. All right, so 2 categories. 1, we are going to say ranged. 2, we're going to say melee. This might seem really watered down and super non-specific, but for the purpose of this video in terms of education, we're going to go with that. Okay, so ranged gods. Ranged gods are gods who can stay backwards far away and throw stuff at you. Not too bad, right? Stand far away, throw stuff at you. Melee, you have to walk up to somebody and punch them in the face. Very simple, right? Ranged, we would say Dumbledore, because he has a freaking wand and he's insane. Dumbledore, I think that's right. And melee, we're going to go with Chuck Norris. Chuck Norris doesn't throw stuff at people. He walks up to them and roundhouses them in the face. Dumbledore doesn't walk up to people and hit them because he's 180 million years old. He takes his wand and he throws magic missile at people. Very simple, right? Awesome. So those are your 2 very watered down, non-specific types of gods in the game. But we're going to take it 1 step forward because there's 2 different types of damage in this game. One is magic. Most ranged gods are magic-based, like Dumbledore, and melee is physical. There's a loophole here. And we'll just say Artemis, we'll get to that too. Now, the reason that the fact that there's 2 different types of damage is important is because 1, how you build your team, and 2, how you're going to stay alive and kill people. Now, When you're up against, if you're up against a team of 5 ranged magic users, 5 Dumbledores, you're going to want to stack something called Magic Resist. Magic Resistance takes all their magic missiles and fireballs and lightning bolts from the sky, and it makes it so they don't hurt you as much. So when you're up against a Guan Yu, an Agni, an Anubis, a Zeus, and you don't want to die right away when they hit you with your ulti, you're going to buy some magic resist items. We'll get in game and I'll show you a couple and I'll kind of explain how the damage mitigation works. It's really important. Now, when you're up against 5 Chuck Norris players, or if there's a Chuck Norris player in your lane that's just destroying you, like Artemis, who's actually a Chuck Norris with a bow and arrow and does a lot of physical damage like that, you want to stack physical resistance. You want to mitigate physical resist, so you want to stack physical resistance items. Very important. Again, this is going to help you stay alive in team fights. This is going to help you stay alive in lane. And the longer you're in team fights, the longer you're in lane, the more damage you can do, and the more gold and XP you can farm. The more damage you do, the better the odds are that you stay alive and the rest of your team stays alive. The more gold and XP you farm, the better you guys end up winning, or the better chance you have of winning in the end. Okay, so just to do a quick summary, ranged, for the most part, are magic users. They can attack from afar. We compare them to Dumbledore because he takes his wand and he casts magic missiles. Melee, like Chuck Norris, has to walk up and punch you in the face, with the exception of ranged physical damage like Artemis, who's the crazy chick with the bow and arrow. Okay, so very, very easy summary. We're good. We're moving forward. We understand that damage mitigation is very important. And if you need to know what god does what kind of damage, just open up the main screen right here. This is very important. You want to look at the gods, click on gods, and then you can go through all these guys, click on details, you can click on abilities, and it shows you what kind of damage they do. Magical power, magical power, magical power, magical power. And then if we look at like Artemis, you are going to see, where is it? I'm getting invited with so many people. Physical power. Boom. Physical. Boom. Physical. So important. So physical, magic, physical, magic, and then magic resist, physical resist, okay? So if they have a Artemis who does physical damage, who's like 4-5-0, 4-5 in the game, and you're worried about her, you're worried about dying to her a lot because we don't want to feed her, because the more she kills you, the more powerful she gets. She's going to get gold and XP and buy all these items and destroy you, and you'll be like, oh my god, this game sucks, when it really doesn't, just because you're being bad. You can buy physical resist items so that she doesn't just nail you to that floor. All right, very cool. So we understand we want to stay alive. We understand that dying is bad. So we're going to take a quick short break so I can move on to segment 2. And we are going to move on to, what was the second one? Basic laning. All right, turning this off. Be right back. We'll go forward. Boom. Super simple, right? So hard to screw that up. Look. You want to stay alive, you want to stack resist. Everyone's like, oh, Guan Yu's so OP, oh my god, Anubis got 30 kills, OP, OP. Nobody's buying resistances. I have an Anubis, I'm going to kill you with my ult. Oh wait, you have 180 magic resist? I can't do it. You won't die. I can't kill nobody. I can't win the game now. Stack your resistances, get those up there. Nobody is OP, everyone is super balanced. You have to understand that MOBAs are based around adapting during gameplay. It starts at hero selection. I know everything right now is a blind pick, so you can't counter pick anybody, but there are gods that are just good overall. They just are. And if you see a Guan Yu in your lane, like solo or duo or with another magic user, just get some magic resist, you guys. And moving forward, if you need to kite him, Gem of Isolation is going to slow everybody down. And if they're slowed down and they can't catch you, they can't kill you. And if they can't kill you, they cannot out-farm you. Just logic, guys. We have to use logic, and we have to take these basic skills, and we have to implement them and use them in every single game. So very, very important. Just remember these basics, and you'll be okay. Does anybody have any questions about that first section? I'm here. I'll answer them. I got all the answers, and if I don't have an answer, I will Google the shit out of it for you, and I will find an answer. Ranting is OP. It's so Malachite. It's so it's so simple. The basics are so important though. Like I can't stress enough that you need to build against the team you're playing. You just need to build against it. You have to be able to adapt. Ugh, Guan, yeah, who's Guan Yu, right? Okay, so since it seems like everyone got that very, very first simple subject, we're going to move on to subject 2, which was basic laning for, yeah, just basic laning. So let us continue, watch this, and I will be right back. Alright guys, now that you've had a chance to talk to non-recorded me, we're going to move on to our second subject here, which is going to be, let me fix this real quick so that I don't get all confused. Basic laning, so important. Basic laning is very, very important. Now the laning phase of a MOBA is where you are in lane with one other person or by yourself against one other person or two opponents, and you're trying to farm creeps for gold and experience. We're going to call this, it's called basic laning or the laning phase or early game. You'll hear a lot of people call it a bunch of different things. It's basically the beginning where you kill creeps and maybe try to squeeze out a kill here and there. What we're going to do is we're going to jump into a quick practice game real quick so I can show you the beginning of a very simple, easy laning phase. Kind of show you a few things to concentrate on, to work on, to focus on, and show you a few tricks that'll help you get along well with your teammates and keep everybody else alive. If this queue ever pops, did I do solo queue? What did I do here? Hold on. Solo practice queue. Go. Let's try this again. Shouldn't take like more than 10 seconds to load. In my opinion, laning phase is the most important phase in the game because this is where you decide what the tempo is. Do you want to go for early kills? Do you want to sit back and farm and work on some items? So on and so forth. The purpose of this little, laning phase explanation, I'm going to show you guys a new hero in case you haven't seen him yet. That's Guan Yu, who's not OP. We'll talk about that in the second half of this web series, or second half of this episode. He's very strong in the laning phase because he has lane sustain, which allows him to stay in lane without having to leave all the time. He's got some AoE abilities that allow him to farm creeps quicker, and he's got an escape mechanism that helps him get away and or kill enemies that you're laned up against. Boom, boom, boom. And I'm just going to take a quick item here. None of this is really important. We'll go over buys later. I'm just doing this to get into the lane. Okay, so at the beginning of the game, pre-laning phase, you've got, I think it's 45 seconds or something like that, to buy your items, decide who's going where, oh my god, I've got mid. Thank you so much. I love my non-existent teammates. And then we're going to move forward because we have our items, but I didn't buy potions because I'm bad. I'm not sorry, but I'm not buying mana potions here. We're going to rock a couple of health potions here. Perfect. So this is a very standard build for anyone that does magic damage. Okay, so when the timer hits 0, your minions spawn, they start moving forward. This is right here where I'm clinging, this blue little tower here. That's our tower. That's their tower. Towers do damage. If you go past this gray line right here on their tower, it's going to start attacking you if it doesn't have anybody else to attack. If the enemy goes over yours and our tower has nothing else to attack, it's going to start attacking him. So tower is very, very important. So, okay, here we're in the laning phase. Our guys have green bars, theirs have red bars. We are going to last hit these creeps. Last hitting creeps means attacking them when they have only one hit left, because that gives us the maximum amount of XP and gold possible. And the faster you get gold and XP, the faster you level up, and the faster you can buy the all-important items. The bigger creeps give more XP and gold than the little creeps. See, there's 27. And there's 27. Maybe solo's different. I don't know. That's just odd. But last hitting is very important. See, there's 40 gold. Perfect. And what you want to do, especially as a melee god, like we're playing Guan right now, Guan Yu's melee, is you want to stay behind the creeps here. Because anyone with a regular attack, if they're ranged, they wouldn't be able to attack through our creep, so we're safe. We're not taking damage. And we're always moving back and forth, up and down, because we don't want to be an easy target for somebody with an auto attack, a ranged auto attack. So we're staying alive, we're getting XP back here in lane. We're not getting last hits because we don't want to run up and get nuked. See, we'll run up and we're going to get nuked right here. Oh, we took some damage. But back here, we're out of his range. We can't take damage, and we're still getting some XP and some gold. And when these melee creeps come up, we can go back to farming. I mean, it's not too difficult. We're moving around. I'm dancing. I'm dancing. You can't touch me. You can't touch me. See, I'm staying alive. I'm staying alive. No damage. You know, getting XP, getting that gold, so very, very important. And then when it gets to a point where, you know, they're pushed up and you feel like you've got some money you need to go back and buy, you push up the creep so you've got time to go back. Now he's got to push the lane all the way back towards us before he can go back. If not, we can just run up and gank him real quick. And here we are. We're in buying phase again, okay? Very, very simple. Now, since we're here in the store, quickly, I'm going to show you some damage mitigation items. So the god we're playing against mid here, he is a magic user. So what we want to do is we would want to add some magical defense to our repertoire of items so that we just didn't get Ponzored. So if we go to this defense bracket in the store, and then we click on magical, it's going to show you all the items that grant you magical resist. Hide of Leviathan is very cool because it gives you both physical and magical, 45 each, plus 250 health and 250 mana at its third tier. Every item you buy, boom, 3 tiers, boom, 3 tiers, boom, 3 tiers. And once you buy the first one, it shows you how much more gold you need for the second one. And right here, available currency, that's the amount of gold that you have. Fairly simple. It works the exact same way with physical defense as well. These are all the physical right here. And if you want to stack health, if you want to be really healthy, you can buy items that give you more health to make your health pool larger. Right now I'm at 1040. HP 5, health per 5 ticks. So the more HP 5 you have, the more health you regenerate. That's the simplified version of that. We're going to stick with that for now. We're going to make things really easy on you. We're not going to get into too much depth. Now, that's really the basic laning phase. Oh, real quick before I forget. If you're playing in a lane and you have 2 opponents in your lane and one of them goes missing, you want to tell the rest of your team. The neat thing about Smite is that that's built in. All you have to do is press B, then F, and then the corresponding number for your lane. If you're playing left, middle, or right, I'm playing middle, so I'll press 2. Whoops, VF2. And look at that. Everyone now knows that somebody is missing middle, and they should be very careful so that they don't get ganked by that person. By using this cool little trick, you can, you know, make friends. They're like, oh my god, you didn't call mid, dude. You didn't call mid. Ah, give me my TD piss. And then, you know, they're not mad at you. They're like, oh, cool, thanks for calling mid, bro. I'm still alive. We can be best friends now. Let's queue together. And, you know, that's kind of the method that we want to put forward. We want to be nice. We want to call mids. And that's going to bring us up to our next little section here, which is communication. So I'm going to turn off the stream or turn off the this VOD real quick so we can have a quick little conversation and take any questions about the last section, and then we'll move forward. Be right back. Okay, basic laning, super easy. Going back to one of the things we started right in the middle of the video, last hitting. Like, it's one of the most overlooked mechanics during laning phase. You get so much more gold, and if you get more gold faster than the people on the other team, you get items first. And if you get more items before they do, you're more powerful. And if you're more powerful than they are, you kill them. And if you keep killing them, you win the game. That's crazy. Win the game by last hitting creeps? Talk about some knowledge bombs, huh? That's ridiculous. That's insane. No, but seriously, last hitting is super important. If it's not something you're good at, I would highly recommend going into practice mode, just solo practice mode, and practice last hitting. Take a god you want to get familiar with. Take a god you are familiar and or comfortable with. Go into single player mode and just start hitting last creeps. Just last hit. Just throw stuff at the last creeps and make sure you are last hitting properly. I mean, at least that way when you're playing with new people, you know, they can see that, you know, oh, you can last hit. It's an impressive thing. If I'm laning with a pub and I see them last hit, I'm impressed. It's a very, very cool thing. I think we had a couple questions during that video. Zombie, you asked if you wanted to buy like multiple items or one item first. You like usually at the beginning of the game you buy two tier one items. Like when I'm playing a magic user, I'll get war, warlock, warlord. That was it called. Whatever. Boots of the Magi and the Warlord Sheath or whatever it's called. And I will try to get my Warlord leveled up as fast as possible because you get stacks for that. With that stacks, you get more HP and MP, which makes it easier to stay in lane, which makes it easier to get XP and get gold, which means you're going to level up quick. And again, by leveling up quick, you kill people. By kill people, you're helping your team. By helping your team, you're going on to win the game. So it's usually two items in the beginning, and you want to level up the one that has the passive first. So so the sash. Thank you, Druft. I heart you. Warlock sash and Magi boots for magic users. And depending on if you're playing somebody else like a tank or someone, there's various gajillion builds out there. So use your imagination. But again, last hitting is going to help you get to where you want to be with your god quicker. So just make sure you're working on that. It's really important. And that's kind of, I don't want to call that high level stuff, but that's like, beyond like noob MOBA gaming. That's something you learn as you go. But if you can pick that up early and often, you're ahead of the curve. You're in great shape. Andred, hey, what's up, man? Ultra gay. Thanks for that, bro. I didn't see you coming. Cool. Did we get anything else for questions? If not, we'll be moving forward. I think that's all we needed. I think we're doing good here. All right, cool. So moving on, I've got another video, and then we're going to go back onto freestyling. Very nice, Indrid. It's good to see you, bro. Where are we at here? So we did laning. We did intro. We are on to, I think we're going to do communication next. I think that's a really short video. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and move on to a quick bit of communication, which is really important. The video explains it. So here we go, part 3. Enjoy, have fun. And I have to do this properly again. Where are you? You close that, you open, and you play. All right, now back to the recorded version of me. We are talking about communication in game. I think it'll keep recording if I alt-tab here. Let's hope so. All right, my massive amount of windows. So let's do this real quick. Smite map, Smite game map. Probably should have Googled this before I brought the stream back up, or the video back up, but that's okay. See if we can find a picture of the map, and we'll talk about communication. I'm so bad at this. All right, so whatever. Apparently I'm a jerk. I'd have to go back in game. Whatever. We're gonna forget about it. We'll say screw it and do it live. All right. So communication is super important when you're playing any MOBA like Smite. The reason it's important is because sometimes, like the whole missing in action thing, like missing mid, missing right, missing left. The more often, you really want to communicate this to the other people on your team, because if you don't, people are going to start dying. If they have a jungler or a roamer, if somebody from your lane goes over to mid and kills them, they're getting gold. They're getting experience. They're getting kills. When they get kills, they get, extra levels, and they're buying all these items. And then suddenly, 10 minutes into the game, you're so far behind that you might not be able to catch up. By communicating with each other, you can avoid this. You can call out ganks. You can say, let's go get this green buff. Let's go get that gold buff. Oh no, left needs help. Let's go over and help left. This is going to help you win the game. And isn't that really the end result we're all looking for, is to win the damn game? I know that's all I want to do. And if you don't want to do it, you know what? You can't play on my team. I'm sorry. So let's concentrate on communicating in game. Let's be pleasant. Let's not be rude. Let's not show bad manners. By keeping things positive and being helpful and calling your Mias, everyone's going to be all happy and jovial, and no one's going to intentionally feed or just leave the game. And that's, nobody wants to deal with that. So communication. It doesn't matter if you speak English, Spanish, Dutch, French, German, doesn't matter. You've got hotkeys built in to call ganks, Mias, taunts, whatever you want. You can hold spacebar and you can ping the map. If you need to if you need people to go backwards, say, hey dude, you got people coming over there, you should really back up. You can hold space and right click on the map and it'll do a gold ping to let them know that they should go back. Communication is really important. I can't stress enough how vital that is in any MOBA and when playing on a team. And that's really all I have to say about communication. So I'm gonna again pause my my VOD here. Okay, boom. Communicating in game. Okay, probably the most boring subject in the entire world. Yeah, I know. I gotta talk to my teammates. Blah. Shut up and do it. I mean, call your missing. You know, let people know that maybe this buff is gone, or oh my God, Kali's missing. I think she went over here. Let's go kill her, bro. I mean, use words. You know what I mean? You have a keyboard. You got hotkeys and macros built in. Use your words. Like it's such a simple thing, but it's so important if you want to play the game properly. Talk to your teammates, you know, whether you're in a pub or you're playing with your buddies in a 5-man queue and you're in vent, it doesn't matter. You need to call out abnormalities. When somebody's missing from a lane, when somebody has a buff, if you need a gank, if you need help, if you're coming over to gank or you're coming over to help, if you think you should push, if you think you should fall back, you have to talk. You have to talk. Again, MOBAs are a game about being adaptable. You have to adapt as the game progresses. If people don't know what's going on in the game, they cannot adapt, they cannot progress. Use words, communicate. It's super, super important. It's super important. Okay, and the last video we have for this section is for basic items. This is the single most important video you will ever watch in your entire Smite lives. Watch it, listen to every effing word I say in this video, and do everything that this video tells you, because I promise you it's going to make you a better player. Good luck, have fun, be right back. Alright guys, welcome back. Our next section is basic items. And when I mean basic items, I mean duh items. We talked about magic resist and physical resistance items a little bit earlier, but we're going to kind of move on from that, and I'm going to show you some other stuff as well. Mainly something called purification beads that just wins games. A lot of people aren't buying actual abilities right now, and that's a mistake, and I'm going to show you why. Let's get in here real quick, and then, you know, as soon as it starts, I'll be able to show you the items. This game, a lot of this game is based around what's called CC, crowd control. Stuns, snares, slows, traps, so on and so forth. Now, when you're frozen by Ymir and you can't move and there's 3 other people there, odds are you're gonna freaking die, bro. You're dead skis, no more. Just stay at home, go. Might as well start your day over again. But if you buy this amazing ability called purification beads, it removes all crowd control effects from you. Every crowd control effect, everything that slows you down, stuns, snares, everything, it gets off of you. And it prevents new crowd control effects from being applied for 2 full seconds. Oh no, I'm stuck in Hades ult, and now Ymir's gonna ult and kill me. My face, it just exploded. But you know what? If you buy purification beads and you press that little magical F button, you are going to start glowing and clouds are going to come from you, and you will be able to run away from that Hades ult. You'll be able to unfreeze yourself from that Ymir freeze. You'll be able to get out of that stupid Artemis spore, and you'll be able to stay alive. And children, what's the thing about staying alive? What is that magical little example I used before? The longer you stay alive, the more XP and gold you get. The more XP and gold you get, the more levels you get. The more levels and XP and gold you get, the more items you get. The more items you get, the better the chances that you guys win the game. The longer you can stay in the fight, the more damage you can put out. The more damage you put out, the better the chance is that you guys win that team fight. And guess what? If you win that team fight, that could be a free tower, or 2 free towers, or a tower and a phoenix, or 2 phoenix, or the damn Minotaur, and that means the damn game. And we've won! We've accomplished our goal. Purification beads, completely OP, Imba, must buy. Anybody with crowd control effects on that team, you buy purification beads. I cannot stress, just buy it. Auto buy it. Not level 1, not right away, But when you buy an item and you have 550 gold left, you buy those purification beads and you buy a damn health pot. No questions asked. It will save your life. It could save the game. You should see 3 to 5 purification beads on every team in every game. And those who call it bad or I don't need it. Guess what, bro? This stream is for you. You don't know what you're talking about, bro. Just listen to me, okay? I'm trying to help you. Buy the beads. Just buy the beads. All right. Now, while we're talking about abilities, we might as well talk about some of the other ones too. Creeping Curse has been really popular lately. Using this item reduces all enemies' ground speed by 35% and a 35-foot radius around you for 5 seconds. You're slowing people down. They can't run around you. They can't run away from you. You're killing people. Heavenly Agility. Use this item buffs all allies' ground speed by 35% and a 35-foot radius for 5 seconds. Let's chase people and kill them. Boom. Heavenly Agility. Not something I use too often, but I could see it being used. I'd rather just have Sprint, I think. Aegis Amulet. Another beautiful, beautiful item that goes super well with purification beads. Okay, so they have a Hades. They have a Ymir. They have an Odin. They have an Agni. They have all these gods that just, want to get you trapped and kill you, kill you, kill you. But you know what? You have an Aegis Amulet. So you're trapped inside of Odin's ult. And then Zeus puts down his ult. And then Hades ults. And you hit purification beads, but there's nowhere to go. Oh my god, I'm going to die. What do I do? Oh! Aegis, I pressed that G button. I can't take damage. So even if you don't get out and you don't survive, you've just wasted 3 of the enemy team's ultimate ability. So if you can stay alive for 3 to 5 seconds and start running towards the tower or running towards your teammates, they can take out those 3 guys because they don't have their ultimates anymore. They can't dish out the damage. Odds are everything is on cooldown because they just wasted on you during those 2 seconds that you had Aegis on. Oh my god, you just won a team fight for your team. And what does winning team fights do? It brings you closer to our endgame goal, winning the damn game. Aegis, purification beads, 2 amazing abilities overlooked by many players. Trust them, love them, eat, breathe, sleep Aegis and purification beads. You will love every second of it, and if you don't, again, you're the one who should be listening to me because you don't know what you're talking about. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So let's continue down the list. Sprint makes you go fast, enough said. Meditation gives you mana, enough said. Girdle of Might gives you plus 20 physical magical power buff for 10 seconds. Hand of the Gods, jungler's best friend. It's like Smite, except it's an AoE. Who knew? So much better. I want to go counter jungle. Let's go get Hand of Gods and start jungling. Let's get green buff. Let's get red buff. Let's get all the buffs with Hand of Gods. If you want to jungle, you need this on your skill bar. You just have to have this on your skill bar. I'm not going to jungle and I'm going to buy it. That's how badass it is. Just do it. Very, very awesome. Okay, so we've gone through the amazing abilities here. Remember, purification beads, Aegis, your best friends. I mean it. Even if you don't think you need them, buy them. They could save your team. Give it a shot. All right, I'm going to go ahead and pause this little VOD here, and then we'll have a quick discussion about items, and then we'll move on. Be right back. Purification beads. Aegis? Madness! This is absolutely insane! I cannot tell you how many times I have solo queued and I've sat there and watched them get an Odin. I've watched them get a Hades. I've watched them get a Zeus. I've watched them get a Artemis. I've watched them get a Ymir. And nobody on my team would buy purification beads and or Aegis. Why? Because they are simply overlooked. But it's 500 gold, Fixie! Who cares? It's 500 gold. That's 3 creepways. Get your damn Aegis. Get your damn purification beads. It's going to mean the difference between life and death. Again, if you stay alive, you can farm XP and gold. If you farm XP and gold, you level up and you buy items. If you do that faster than the other team, you simply win the game, okay? Again, these are basics, but they're so important. If you can go into a game with the fundamentals under your belt and execute them at a decent level, you're going to be in a lot better shape than if you weren't. Aegis, purification beads. Really, trust them, okay? Just start buying them. Plan when you're planning out a build, make sure you implement Aegis and Purification beads. They really will turn games around. Does anybody have questions about Aegis and Purification beads? Second, probably. Well, I'm stressing out here. I'm stressing out here, Beer Hunter. People aren't buying purification beads. I got to smoke every 15 minutes. I blame all of you. It's your fault. Okay, so you should buy the beads, Beer. I think that's about right. You should buy the beads. That's really all I have for the basic first half of this little webisode. But smoke and then buy some beads, good man. But if anybody has any questions about the game itself, like basic stuff, normal stuff, questions like on how to get better, anything at all, ask. Ask. This is the time where you can come in here, you can ask for help without being embarrassed or ashamed, and you'll get it. You'll get it, and I will only make fun of you a little bit. This is your time. So ask away. It's never, never worth selling items. Not right now, no Grubnut. Never worth selling items. If you buy wrong, it might be time to rethink your what you're buying. It was an accident, because you're not getting money back. You're losing money right away. You're losing money right away. If you're having problems locking in a kill, usually, if you're having problems locking in a kill, you're not spamming your abilities in the right order. Good link, Alakite. Okay, Zombie, when you're chasing down a kill, or if you're fighting somebody one-on-one and it's close and you don't know what's going to happen, you need to look at your health bar, you need to look at your mana bar, and you need to know what abilities do what damage, or what ability you could use to get away if you have to. You have to make sure you go into a fight confident you're going to win it. I mean, sometimes weird things happen. A second person comes around to try and kill you. So you have to have an out plan. You have to have a backup plan. How can I get out if this doesn't go well? Or if I spam this ability, it could slow them so I can get 2 or 3 auto attacks in before I can spam this ability for the kill. You have to time things properly. You can stand in front of somebody so they can't run away from you. Oh, look, I'm going to try and go back to my lane. Oh, no, you're not. I'm going to stand in front of you. And he can't run back to his tower, so you can keep killing him with stuff, bro. Like, there's a bunch of different ways to do it. Try blocking him, man. Try blocking him. It works. All right. So if we feel like we've gained something here, and that we've covered the basics, we feel comfortable going into a early level game and practicing what we've gone over today, then I feel comfortable. Fire Giant, wait until you've got 4 people there at level 17 plus, and then do Fire Giant. I would recommend warding outside of Fire Giant. So if the other team goes over there first, you guys can go over there and wipe them. Fire Giant does a lot of damage pre-level 20. Use that to your benefit. It's a big buff. And that's what I got to say about that. It's a great objective. Especially if you're playing Invent with people, you guys can time it. And if you have a bunch of people walking over there and pinging, the rest of your team will follow. All right, so we are done with basics, and we are going to move forward onto closer to competitive play. Like I said in the thread, I have no aspirations of becoming pro. I'm going on 30. I'm an old guy. I don't have the reflexes that some of these kids that are playing the game do. It's just not going to happen to me. But I can attempt to provide you with quality entertainment. And that's what we're going to do here. I'm going to give you guys what I have, again, the competitive side of it. I consider myself an above average player right now, so maybe that can help you guys hone your skills as well. The first thing I want to talk about is Guan Yu. Guan Yu, yeah. Guan Yu, the new guy that just came out, the one that everyone is crying and freaking out over because he's OP. Oh my god, he's got this ability, it does damage to me. I don't know how to get away from that. Well, let me explain a few things to you. Guan Yu does magic damage. There are several items you can purchase to mitigate this magic damage. And the funny thing is, I explained this in the beginner tutorial. The tutorial which I was talking to people who have never played a MOBA before. It's called Magic Damage Mitigation. Mitigate that damage and laugh at him. You stack magic resist if you have to stay alive. Doing damage doesn't help anybody if you just keep dying to the same god. Buy some magic resist items, and then you can start farming, and then you can start buying those damage items. Another thing you can do is if you're really getting torn up, when you're at that level, 12, 13, 14, you're planning out your third or fourth item, there's this awesome item called Gem of Isolation. It slows down everybody that you do damage to with your abilities, and that includes Guan Yu. Yeah. The only time it doesn't work is when he's in his ultimate, and that lasts, what, 3 to 5 seconds? If you can't stay alive for 3 to 5 seconds, buy yourself an Aegis. You just bought yourself 2 seconds, no problem. Get yourself get some purification beads. If somebody CCs you, you can run away. And you've got magic resist, so you can stay alive long enough to run away. And then you can hit him with an ability and continue running away and wait for your battle buddies to get there so you guys can kill Guan Yu. He's not overpowered. You have to play the game properly. You have to build against your team. You can't build to kill everything, because if you keep dying, you'll never build anything. Get MR, stay alive, and then kill stuff. Come on. It's a MOBA. Play it like one. All right, so does anybody have a rebuttal? Does somebody want to argue this with me? Because we can do this. I've already explained in IRC what's going to happen. Thank you. I appreciate that, EG. Thank you as well, Beer Hunter. I appreciate you guys. Very nice. Yep. And see, it's so logical too. It's so basic. Like everyone's playing this game not so much as a MOBA, but like as a, I don't know, some weird arena game we've never seen before. Oh, I want to top frag because if I top frag, I win the game, right? No, that's not how MOBAs work. You win the game when you kill the Minotaur. I don't care if you get 30 kills as an Anubis. It doesn't matter. If you lose the game, who cares? Oh, now you can go blame your teammates. That's fine. But guess what? Maybe there's something else you could have done too. Like while you were over in right lane poning face, your left lane lost both their towers in 8 minutes. Good job, bro. How'd it go? You lost. Grats. You're done. You're bad. You're bad, basically. Awesome. That's Guan Yu. I mean, that's him in a nutshell. Build against him. Build against the team. Adaptability starts at God selection. And another thing some of you guys need to realize is, but this guy's my best god. Well, you know what? You already have 4 magic users. You really need some physical damage so they don't stack MR against you. Guess what? It's time for you to man up and play an Artemis or somebody else that can AD. You need physical damage out there. Sometimes you have to play somebody that isn't your best god, but just having somebody deal that physical damage like a Bastet, you could end up carrying the team because nobody's building against you. You have to, like, team composition is so utterly important. And you go on the forums and you're walking around and people are freaking out because they're like, oh my god, everybody's so bad at this game, so bad at this game. I went 18-2-4, the rest of my team fed. Well, you know what? You messed up too, bro, because you let that person get fed. You didn't call out help. You didn't tell people to build resist. You didn't ping saying that you're going to go over there and help gank. It's your fault too. It's not a 1-on-5 game, it's a 5-on-5 game. So if you keep losing, you need to do something differently as well. You need to do something differently as well. So change something. Go do something. Ask to switch lanes. Anything. You're not adapting. If you're not adapting in a MOBA, then you're not playing it right. Okay? All right, so that's good. Let's talk about lane compositions for a little while. Now that 5-man queues are out, we're seeing some cool stuff. People are trying different gods with different gods in different lanes, different gods jungling. So we had a Anubis jungler earlier, and that was absolutely terrific. It was cool to watch. He was running through creep camps like it was his job. We were playing Agni with Guan Yu right side half the morning. That was a lot of fun. Yeah, Ymir's a boss god. And right now, there is no meta game. There's no meta right now. But we can kind of start to see what it's going towards right now, and if I had to make a solid guess as to what the current meta might be in the next few weeks, I would probably go with tanky DPS with a MP user roaming. Like we're talking like a Wukong with the Ymir on one side, and maybe like Guan Yu with even a Bastet on another side with like an Anubis roaming. Because you've got that Anubis who, in my opinion, is a CC bot or should be built as a CC bot with this mummy wrap, and you get a gem of isolation on him, hit him with your cone AoE. That's a lot of CC. That's a lot of slow. That's a lot of stun. Hey, what's up, Jester? So if you look 2 weeks ahead and you're like, what's the current meta going to be? Probably tanky DPS with an MP user roaming. That's what I see working. I played a couple 5-man queues this morning. We went like 7-0, 8-0 or something like that. And that was kind of typical of what was face rolling. Tanky DPS is hard to deal with because you can build them so many different ways. Yeah. You can like there's an awesome AD build out there for a Bruiser Ymir that's running rampant right now. It's doing super well. So like moving forward, try different things, try different lane compositions, try different builds. The game's going to get really exciting in the next week or two. We're going to see a lot of different stuff, and we're going to see threads about like, oh, this lane comp is OP, needs a nerf. This lane comp is OP, needs a nerf. If you're consistently seeing something that's working over and over and over again, try it and then try to improve on it or try and counter it. Don't forget, countering again is you're adapting to the game, and that's how MOBAs are played. So just keep rolling with the punches, keep going that way. Lane compositions and team compositions in general is what's going to make or break the competitive side of Smite. Who's going to be the smartest? Who's going to find that awesome idea first? Whether it be a random tri-lane appears, or it be, it's two bruisers and one lane, or a bruiser jungler suddenly appears, or a uber fast push team. We have yet to see anything that's just taken hold. We're seeing a lot of different stuff, so keep trying. Be that person who comes with that awesome strat. Do it. So that's team compositions in general. Is there a specific? Hey, what's up, Blair? Is there a specific mechanic, god, lane, or anything else that you guys want to get into detail about? Because this would be the time for it. Hackney Jungle. My headset is broken as hell, four chord. I know it. I'm waiting for my new one. Odin Zeus. Odin Zeus and Lane. I remember when I first started playing beta. What do you mean there's no counter? Why isn't there a counter? You look, if you're fighting in a lane that you are 90% sure that you can't come out on top one, call for a lane swap. You know what? Or if you just think you're gonna die and die over again, set up a super early gank. Stitch earlier. I really didn't want to share this, but I think it makes sense. In one of the earlier games, we had 3 people run up the side of right lane to get every single buff, come back into right lane, and then get that early double kill. With 3 buffs on 3 people ganking one lane halfway pushed up, that's an easy kill. That's an easy kill. You can easily do the same thing left side. I mean, what else can you ask for? Again, Snitch, we're talking about adaptability. Oh, but I wanted to play that lane. Well, guess what? You're not suited to play against those 2 gods. Have somebody else come over. Have somebody with escapability come over. Have Hades move over. Have Bastet move over. Your Odin move over. Your Wukong move over. There's tons of options. The odds are that the odds of you having somebody in your group on your team with that jump escapability, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. I mean, you're looking at almost a coin flip. So, start. How are they not a counter? So you're telling me that Zeus Odin, there's no counter for because they keep killing you. But if you bring somebody over there, they can't kill and can be harassed by this person. How is that not a counter? You're staying alive and you're still getting farm. Just because that bringing that one person over doesn't make you win the lane, that doesn't mean it's not a counter. You guys are staying alive and you're still getting that XP and that gold, and you're not feeding them any kills. It's a great counter. Anything that negates what the other team is trying to do is a counter. That's fine. How do I deal with Guan Yu and CC champion early game before you have a chance to buy any abilities? You want to build MR. You need to sit there and you need to farm and you need to be passive and you need to stack MR. And if it's getting to a point where you're getting pushed back and you don't think there's anything you can do about it, you're going to get power dived, you need to start pinging. You need to start calling for help. You need to have mid come over. And then that way you won't die. I'd much rather see mid tower go down to half life than see 2 kills under the tower in the first 5 minutes of the game. Does that make sense to you, Endos? Yeah, Aegis is laughable too. Show's been on for about, I think, 40 minutes, Fork. Okay, no damage. No damage is bad, right? You missed this part, Endos. No damage is bad, but dying is much, much, much worse. Stay alive. Farm, get XP, get gold. It's much worse to keep dying and building damage. If you build damage and you're dead, you can't do any damage with those items you bought. If you built resistance and you stay alive, you can stay in lane and you can keep farming gold and XP. And then moving on, once your survivability is on the hilt, you can start doing damage then by buying your damage items. All right, you keep saying we, Snitch. Who is we? Tell me who we is. I missed that part. All right, I missed half that conversation. I don't know where you guys are at. Sorry. Call for a gank. They're not going to kill 3 people. Once your mid hits level 4, just have them come over. Whatever. You've got 3 people there. At least it's going to stop the push. Then he can go back. He can push mid up, then go over there and make sure you guys are fine. Go back to mid. Staying alive is the most important part of this game in the first 15 minutes. You have to stay alive. I mean, if you're not farming, well, that sucks. If you're not getting kills, you know what, that sucks. But if you die 5 times in the first 15 minutes, you're in really bad shape. But if you don't get any kills and they don't get any kills and you're staying in XP range, well, that's a lot better than feeding somebody. And sometimes, you know what, that's the best you can do, and there's nothing wrong with that. There really is nothing wrong with staying in XP range and just getting where you can. Swapping lanes is never a bad thing. You lose 1 creep wave of XP, which puts you slightly behind, but you know what? It beats the hell out of giving them a double kill or a couple single kills in a row. If you really, really cannot deal with that lane, ask. Can somebody feel comfortable against this lane composition? Does anybody feel like they can do better than I'm doing over here? Ask. What's somebody going to say? Oh my god, you noob. I'm coming right now. Switch. Oh my god, somebody called me a noob, but you know what? We're not losing the game now. We're not losing the game now. Look, I feel like you guys are arguing about like something stupid here. Look, the bottom line is you don't want to die. You do whatever it takes so you don't die in the first 10, 15 minutes. If that means building purely defensive items for your first 3 items, build purely defensive items for your first 3 items. Who cares? You're alive. That means you have a chance to win the game. Again, if you're 0-5 in the first 10 minutes, odds of you winning that game aren't looking very good unless you've got a hard carry somewhere doing much better. But that's my answer for Odin Zeus. Don't die. do what you got to do to not die. Call for ganks, buy items, leave lane and go back. You know, anything is better than dying. It really is. We just talked about Guan. Buy magic resist and get a gem of isolation and laugh in his face when he tries to kill you. Zombie, I'm glad I could help, man. I really am. If you're the only person in here that learned anything, I won't care. You know, mission accomplished. That's awesome. Just try to utilize what you've learned, bro. Go play the game. Play your ass off. Have fun. Tell your friends about the game. Get them in there too, man. Sobek Artemis. Now, yeah, that's a pain in the ass. That's a hell of a lane right there. Why don't we have two mid? Why? Because okay, no. That's a valid question. Your buffs are on your left sides. Your left side. So if you want to be able to buff, get the jungle. You know, get those buffs on the right, or stop people from getting those buffs. You need two people on each lane. You know, having two people mid isn't helping you because people are going to be wandering from mid. So you need to be able to counter jungle or roam from one place to another to be able to help when you need to. That's why you generally play two on each side and one mid. General made a game of MOBA? Yeah, mid very often is like a roamer. Yes, sir, Grubnut, that's proper. Like, I love to play Anubis mid. Anubis is a great ganker. I can go over to left lane when they've got our side pushed up, and I can catch one of the enemy fighters over in the left lane, one of the enemy gods, with my 2 ability, which wraps him up like a mummy so he can't move. And then the other 2 guys in that lane and me can all go on that one guy, and that's a gank. And that means that the other person has to go all the way back to their tower out of XP range, and he doesn't get gold or XP because he's so far away, and then we can maybe push up that tower and take it down. So mid is the one who's, you know, kind of, he has to have really good map awareness so he can tell people what's going on. He has to go help each individual lane, and he's the one who's really kind of directing the action. You can almost call him the pilot for your team. Does that make sense? Does that kind of answer your question a little bit? I hope so. Sometimes I'm really bad at explaining things. All right. Moving on. What else do we have? Topic of conversation. Oh, I'm glad I could help, Grab. Topic of conversation. You know, bring something up. Question, comment, concern. We can go over it. You guys got me for whatever. I'll go until you guys are sated. I don't care. Shut up and listen to your pilot. Number 1 draft. Range or melee in mid, or is it more about ulti? Sketa, I actually feel like it's more about utility and the ability to farm than anything else. I like to play Aokan mid, 1, because his tornadoes give you awesome farming ability and terrific harassing ability as well. And your 2 ability gives you the ability to get to a lane fast and gank if you need to. When I'm playing Aokan mid, he's the dragon guy with the tornadoes. What I like to do is when my lane opponent pushes up a little bit and he's on his creeps, I'll drop a tornado on the creep wave and him, so it does damage to him and the creep wave, and that's allowing me to farm efficiently and maybe get him out of lane if I hit him with a few consecutive tornadoes. Now, a really sneaky thing about playing Aokan mid is when you have a tornado down, once you hit level 5, if you have a tornado down and he's on the other side of that tornado, he can't see your ult coming until he hears the noise or he sees it coming down. So if I can get him with 2 tornadoes in a row and I have him on the other side of a tornado like this, I can put my ult down so it comes and it hits him, and usually 2 consecutive tornadoes and my ulti will kill him, depending on who's mid. So that's how I like to play. No, go ahead and play, Jester. I can't play on stream, dude. My computer will die a horrible death. Druff, do you understand? Do you understand what I said with the tornado blocking line of sight and the ulti coming down? Yeah, my headset's bone, bro. Here, leave my headset out of this, all right? Yeah. Drift is a pro AO. Oh, that's cool. Nice. What else? Do we have any more questions or topics that we need to hit before I get off? I'm here. Keep playing, Sketa. Game's great, man. Alright, well, if you guys are done, I'm done because my throat's drying up like a mo. Is jungle a Hell yeah, it's a viable option. Jungling is so strong right now. Dude, Arachna in the jungle with her ulti and her life feeding ability and her slow. Oh my god. Jungling is big right now. Jungling is most certainly going to be a part of the meta, I think, when we get there. I don't see it as a bad thing. I've already come up with a counter jungling strat just because I think it's so strong. So, yes, jungling is good. All right, but I'm gonna take off now. I hope you guys learned something. I really do. I had a great time sharing what I've learned thus far with you guys. Probably next Tuesday, I'm gonna do episode 2, and we're gonna get and do a little bit more detail. I'm gonna have some gameplay footage for you, and then hopefully by then we'll have more information from Hi-Rez as well, and we'll be able to keep this thing rolling. Hit that follow button if you haven't already. I had a great time chilling with you guys, explaining stuff, and they'll bounce the game. Fork, I think the game's bounced already. Go into IRC if you have more questions about that. If you guys ever have questions about the game or you need some advice or you want to argue something with me, you can find me in IRC at QuakeNet at Smite Game, Pound Smite Game, in-game at FixieSLN or on Skype on FixieSLN. Don't be afraid to come argue or debate with me. I'll answer any questions you have. I'm a student of the game. I always will be. I love the game. I just soak up knowledge like a sponge, man. I really do. But until next time, I'll see you guys. Love, peace, and chicken grease. I'm out.